Our next speaker is Swamy Kotagiri. Swamy is Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer at Magna International. He's been in this position for the last year. In this role, Swamy oversees all aspects of Magna's innovation and new product development activities worldwide. He has a master's degree in mechanical engineering from Oklahoma State University with a specialization in materials and structural engineering. Swamy's speech will lead us into the panel tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Swamy Kotagiri.
Thanks, Tim. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the context of the topic, I have to stay connected, so I'll put the thing here. I'll try to paint the picture a little bit in terms of emerging business models and why are we talking about it in the automotive industry now. If you look back into the history of the car, when car was first invented and brought to use, it was just meant to take you from point A to point B and protect you from the elements. But as it moved on a little bit further, styling and performance took a very active role, and it almost became a projection of your personality. And a few steps forward, we started talking about fuel economy because of the crisis, and then came safety and then regulations. With that as the background, if you look into the horizon a little bit and see what's the future, how is the car going to look in the future, and why is it changing that way? Some of the key areas of innovation as you look forward today, powertrain, lightweight materials, semi-autonomous or autonomous driving, and connectivity seem to be the major topics that are getting the focus as we look forward in the industry. The word connected has different connotations. Maybe in the past, and at the risk of dating myself here, at some point, getting connected really meant that you knew people. You go to a party, you go in the evening, and you show a person and say, he's connected. That means you knew a lot of people. And then came the internet age and the email, where it was instant gratification. When I first came to this country, I had to call back home, which is India at that time in 93, 94. It took me $2.60 to make a call for every minute. So when internet came, it was a huge revolution, right? So if you put it in the same context of what you're looking, connectivity has even taken a different picture now. It's not just being aware of your surroundings. The sphere of how much and what you need to know is almost boundless. So with that as a context, I'll try to paint a picture of what connected car might mean in the future. There are so many visions or pictures or goals or objectives from OEMs and consumers, what they would like the car to be. For example, if you're traveling and you approach the Detroit downtown, you already have a navigation path in place. The hope is that it checks what your profile is and whether you're a hockey fan or a football fan, and what's going on in the Ford Field or what's going on in the Joe Louis Arena, and it pops up and tells you that, hey, there's a game going on here and you're interested, and here's where you can get the tickets. That's the social side of things. But as you're driving, it looks ahead of your path and tells you how the traffic is. Is there a way to get around the traffic jam if there is one? Is there an alternate path to get to your destination quicker? And if you decide to go to a game, it also is supposed to look into your social circle and tell you who from your social circle might be already there, whether they have bought the tickets and they might be there and you have a chance to hook up with them, as my children use the term. If you take this whole thing into the context of the connected car, you can imagine the car, which used to be mechanical, electrical, and hydraulic systems machine, is now transforming into something that's controlled by electronics and software going forward. If you have to make this transition happen, the way you design a car, the way you manufacture a car, the way you service it, the way you drive it, is changing and transforming into something completely different. So there is a technology race. One side of it is the infotainment options that can distract the driver. And on the other hand, it's the active safety features like the adaptive cruise control, the lane keep, or the lane assist features that help you maintain safe driving conditions. So the other aspect of it is the car and the electronics or the consumer electronic industry is converging very quickly. And we seem to be at an inflection point right now. The cost of cameras are going down, the sensors are going down, the capability of the software, the communication networks is increasing very rapidly, which is creating a digital ecosystem with the car mainly as your hub. As these things are changing, what does it do for the car? It enables communication between car to infrastructure, car to cloud, car to personal devices, and so on and so forth. You take it a step forward, it actually helps communication between manufacturers, dealers, government authorities, and so on. So we talked a little bit about connectivity, but what's really driving this trend, or why connectivity? Or what are the enablers? One of the things is technology. Just the technology in terms of gathering data, processing data, storing data, all this is improved in bounds and leaps exponentially over the last decade. The high bandwidth communication technologies or web browsers or cloud-based services, all these are examples of enabling connectivity. If you look at the regulation and government activities, another enabler or driver. For example, in Europe, the e-call that's supposed to be mandatory in 2015 is supposed to help crash incidents. When you have a crash or an accident, you have the communication necessary, that's passed on. And that's supposed to be introduced in 2015. There's a lot of research programs and pilot projects around the globe that are mainly focusing on V2X communication, how to make it, as I call it, mass market capable. So that's one of the drivers. The next one is the customer itself. The customers really want to be connected anywhere, all the time. If you look at the younger generation, they are more interested in knowing what's going on, the social, the infotainment, the entertainment aspect of it, but without giving away the safety. On the other hand, a businessman or a businesswoman want to convert their car into a mobile desktop. As you're traveling, you hit a traffic jam, you want to give the control of the car and be able to do your email or make a conference call and so on and so forth. So there is a huge drive from the consumer itself. The other aspect I think was touched upon before was the urbanization and the mobility solutions. The generation today looks at the transportation or the car a little bit differently. They're more open to the idea of car sharing. It's not as much the possessiveness of this is my car, this is how I want to drive it. They want to use it as a medium to get from point A to point B. If there is an economical way and a greener way to do it, they're embracing it. So that's driving it, which means how do you share cars? If I use the last mile in the mega cities where there is a public transportation, but you have to get from your home to the main station and then from there to your work. Electric cars with even smaller range could be used. So how do we charge them? Where do we put them? How can we constantly use them? Is another business model. The last but important one is the data value. It's not as much the software and hardware. It is the data that's available and how we can monetize it that really holds the business potential. If these are the big market drivers that is driving connectivity, the stakeholders in the conventional automotive industry today, as we look, is the consumer, the OEM, and the tier one. But as we go forward, this will expand further into software and app developers, traffic management systems, security providers, smartphone manufacturers, and so on. So the connected vehicle business will force suppliers to morph into almost hardware, software, and content integrators rather than just being part manufacturers. So the tier one suppliers are going to play a key role in the emerging scenario now, and we as Magna are really focused and ready to participate in this revolution. A little bit about Magna. Magna is a tier one automotive supplier, about 315 manufacturing facilities in 29 different countries, over 100,000 people. We believe our sustainable growth hinges very much on three things. One is innovation, two is world-class manufacturing, and three, people development. So this is an open invitation in our technology mining process, whether it's companies big or small, individuals, entrepreneurs. If you have an idea to make a car cleaner, safer, smarter, or lighter, please come talk to us. We'll be more than happy to work with you. Our principle of innovation is very simple. It's a combination of invention and commercialization, and that's what we believe is innovation. So the connected platform, as we briefly touched, presents new challenges and opportunities as it demands new services and business models. And I think the panel is going to touch upon the different emerging business models. So just as an ecosystem emerged with the software and app developers, with the emergence of smartphones and tablets, we believe there is a similar ecosystem that is forming today and will be substantial as we go forward in the automotive industry. So there is a lot of, as the importance of the software continues to increase, there is a need to have different approaches in pricing, in channel management, it's billing, customer support, which might be very common to the software industry today, but it's something new to the automotive industry and has to be developed. A lot of cooperation has to be established, and a joint approach has to be taken between the automotive insurance and the government regulators if you really want the autonomous driving concept to get away from the test track and come into mass applicability. I believe a revolution in the auto industry is right upon us, and there is very exciting prospects for suppliers, OEMs, consumers, and young, talented, multidisciplinary engineers. I think I would like to thank AutoBeat for arranging this. I think conferences like this will start us off in the right direction, and I think this conference will do its share in moving us all in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamy. Thank you.